We just welcome our lineage root guru, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng, to enter into the Homa hall. Now let's pay homage to the root guru and the three jewels of the altar. Second to all bodhisattvas. Third to all Herukas and Dharma protectors. Fourth half bow.
请主持人敬献哈达，以表最崇高敬意。让我们以热烈的掌声感谢师尊的赐福。恭请圣尊加持汤为佛具供品。
His Holiness just accepted the offering of Hatha from the primary supplicants of this ceremony. Now he's blessing the offering items for Homa.
感谢师尊的加持，恭请圣尊升护摩法座。
Now we are inviting His Holiness to ascend to the Dharma throne.
诸位上师上座，请教授师法师上座，请讲师助教贵宾同们善信大德就座。
We are inviting Simu, all the Dharma masters, our venerables, distinguished guests, and all participants to please take the seats. Inviting His Holiness to bless the prayers of the primary supplicants.
首先，让我们以最热烈的掌声，感恩根本传承上师圣尊莲生活佛为我们主坛长寿佛。
Let's offer our utmost gratitude to our lineage root guru for presiding over this Amitayus Buddha of long life Homa fire offering ceremony. We would also like to extend welcome to Simu and all participating masters, venerables, and all participants. The Amitayus Buddha of longevity, Homa, has now begun. Clap twice and snap your fingers to awaken the deities. Visualize true Buddha lineage. Namo Vairukana Buddha, Namo Buddha Lokana, Namo Amitabha Buddha, Namo Padma Kumara, Namo Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. Visualize Grandmaster and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas sitting on top of our heads, radiating light to bless us. Recite the Root Guru mantra 7 times.
Om Guru Lian-Sheng Siddhi Hom. 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 Om Guru Lian-Sheng Siddhi Hom.
Recite purification mantras and the earth deity mantra. Recite invocation mantra. We sincerely invoke our lineage root guru, the white Mahapadma Kumara. Namo Lotus Light Self-Mastery Buddha, True Buddha School Lineage Guru. Sincerely we invoke the main deity of Homa, Amitayus Buddha of long life. We sincerely invoke the main deity of Homa, Namo Amitayus Buddha of long life. We sincerely invoke the main deity of Homa, Namo Amitayus Buddha of long life. Golden Mother of the Primordial Jetpon, Namo 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Namo True Buddha School 8 primary deities, Namo Yamantaka, Namo Akala, Namo 4 heavenly kings, Namo Sima Bodhisattva, Rainbow temples, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and divinities. To Buddha Tantric Order. All deities enshrined at the Buddha Tantric Order at the Seattle Temple and the Abode at the Southern Mountain. Rainbow Temple's Mountain God, Earth God, Plant God, Wind God, Water God, Heavenly Fire God, Dragon Gods, and all divinities as well as the City God to please descend and radiate light and bless His Homa. Create homage using visualization. First to Root Guru and all Buddhas. Visualize for position on the ground. Release the mudra. Second to all Bodhisattvas. Visualize for position on the ground. Release the mudra. Third to all Herukas and internal protectors. Visualize for position on the ground. Release the mudra. Fourth head bow. Create mandala offering. Form the offering mudra. Visualize the transformations of the offerings to become innumerable to fill the whole space. Make the offering above to the lineage root guru, all the lineage gurus, the main deity of Homa, Amitayus Buddha, and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. In the middle to all protectors, dakinis, and divinities, and below to all sentient beings. Recite the offering verse and mantra. Mount Meru, four continents, and sun and moon transform into precious offerings for the Buddhas. May these wondrous treasures and merits spirits of karma to all of our civilization. Perform fourfold refuge visualization. Visualize our lineage root guru, all the lineage gurus, Buddha jewel, Dharma jewel, and Sangha jewel to form bright white light to empower us. Reset the mantra. Armor protection. Form Vajraklas Mudra. Recite Vajrapani mantra 7 times. Inviting His Holiness to perform blessings with mala. Inviting His Holiness to set ceremonial demarcation and to bless all the offerings, registration forms, and Homa cards. inviting His Holiness to perform the ritual of opening the Homa fire pit and set ceremonial demarcation around it. Inviting His Holiness to lit the Homa fire, to make all the offerings, and to perform mudra transformations for purifications, enhancements, magnetization, subjugation, and bardo deliverance. The assembly will be reciting the heart mantra of Amitayus Buddha, the Buddha of long life or longevity. During this time, you may also perform Homa visualization. Visualize the emergence of the deity in the space above you, the merging of the deity with the Homa fire, and the merging of you into the Homa fire. Visualize the Homa fire eradicating all your karma and negativities into black smoke. Recite that mantras of the 8 principal deities and incantation Amitabha.
Om Panamo Rintaling Soha. Om Hahaha Wei Samaye Soha. Om Jali 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 Soha. Om Jampala Chanang Chanaye Soha. Om Om Peta Guru Pema Siddhi Hom Se. Om Hom Guru Pe Ahu Satamaha Lian-Sheng Siddhi Hom. Beata Om Pekasia Maha Pekasia Raja Samo Chakahe Soha. 南无三十六万亿119500同名同号阿弥陀佛。南无三十六万亿119500同名同号阿弥陀佛。南无三十六万亿119500同名同号阿弥陀佛。回向。 愿同念佛者，同生极乐国，上报四重恩。
Merit dedication, may Allah uphold the Buddha, send the Rampada.
如佛度一
Saying the Buddha, like the Buddha may we dedicate the merit of this ceremony to our lineage Guru. May you stay healthy, live a long life, continually stay in samsara to turn the Dharma wheel. Inviting His Holiness to perform the overall merit dedication.他不知道怎么开，你帮他呀。他从来没用过。We pray to the Tathagata of longevity to bless us with sufficient wisdom, resources, harmony. And we especially pray to Amitayus Tathagata to bless the Lord Tian Da Jiao grand ceremony. May all goes well. We pray to the Tathagata of longevity and the gods in heaven, gods on earth. May we be far from all calamities. May all calamities abandon us. Let all disasters turn into dust. Please bless us so all of our prayers be granted. May all obstructions disperse. May all enemies and enmities vanish. Recite 100 syllable mantra 3 times.
Pecha sato samaya malupanaya pecha sato terupadicha chacho me pawa soto kayo me pawa sobo kayo me pawa anurato me pawa sawa hasiti me boraya cha sawa kama sutta me jitamo siriyan guru hom ha 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 pankawan sawa tathagata pecha mami mancha Pecha pawa maha samaya sato ahom pe om pecha sato samaya malupanaya pecha sato terupadisha chacho me pawa soto kayo me pawa sopo kayo me pawa anurato me pawa sawa hasiti me boraya cha sawa kama sutta me jitamo siniran guru hom ha 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 pankawan sawa tathagata pecha mami mancha pecha pawa maha samaya sato ahom pe om pecha sato samaya malupanaya pecha sato terupadisha chacho me pawa สุตโตคายุเมปาวาสุภุคายุเมปาวาอนุรัตโตเมปาวาสาวาหสิติเมปรายาสะสาวากรรมาสุจาเมจิตามุสินิรันกุโรหมha ha 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 hơ pan kha vấn sa wa tan ha ga ta pe cha ma mi man cha pe za pa wa ma ha samaya sato a hom pe 做观想大礼拜
Pay homage using visualization for student Guru and all Buddhas. Visualize full procession on the ground, release the mudra. Second, to all bodhisattvas. Visualize full procession on the ground, release the mudra. Third, to all headwaters and internal protectors. Visualize full procession on the ground, release the mudra. Fourth path. Recite completion mantra. Now please stand up and join our palms with great reverence, and together we are inviting His Holiness to take the Dharma teaching throne. Please be seated. Let's give a great round of applause to show our utmost gratitude to His Holiness for presiding over this precious Homa. And now let's join our palms, and together with great reverence, we are inviting His Holiness to bestow the precious Buddha Dharma teaching. Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, to Master Sakya Tsongkhong, to Venerable Maung Liaoming, to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and to Master Thupten Torchi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar, and homage to the main deity of Homa today, Amitayus Buddha. Sumo, Tenzin, Getzo, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the webcast. And our VIPs today are the Madam to the Ambassador Daniel Liao Tapira from Sweden and Norway, Dharma Sister Judy, and accountant to the Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband Larry, producers for Kini Tiansang Shinton from CTI TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi, and Dr. Zhou, and Dr. Ryan Zhong and his father, and the advisors to the overseas Chinese from Republic of China, Mr. Mac, and Dr. J.D. Gao, dentist from Indonesia, Miss Yang, and the comic artist from Indonesia, Miss Yang, Thank you for your presence here today.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do? In Chinese, Taiwanese, and Cantonese. Oh, no announcements for Homa next week? Oh, it's the Lord Tian Da Jiao. So the Homa for Amitayus today, I was told by Master Lian-Yin that the primary supplicants today are very few. And I thought, that's fine. That we use the more to complement the less. But if it's less, there's nothing to add to it. But the primary supplicants today are very few. But let me share this joke. It's not a joke, it's a true story. Words through the grapevine. X went to a place and did the Homa ceremony at the chapter. And the primary supplicants were very few. On that day, maybe just a couple or a few can be counted by the fingers. And she wasn't there when the primary supplicants were waiting for her, so they invited her to come the second time, the third time, and she still didn't want to come. And everybody was waiting at the ceremony, and it had been a long time. It took a long time to invite her. It turned out because the primary supplicants were too few. So the income will not lift up her spirit. So she did not want to conduct the ceremony. So the director of that chapter begged and pleaded. And then, please find a way, please do. And what should we do? And then accept that everything in the chapter, directors, presidents, secretary, treasurers, reps. So you have to become primary supplicants on behalf of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas enshrined at the chapter. So at the Rainbow Temple, how many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are enshrined there? Over 60. You should represent all of them. So you should become primary supplicants for all of them. But I already did it. I already did the ceremony. But for her, she did not want to perform the ceremony unless all the directors of the temple, president, secretary, treasurers, and everyone at the chapter should become a primary supplicant on behalf of each of the deity. So we should do that in the future. Master Lian-Yin, Master Ivan, Master Lian-Xi, Lian-Yen, and Lian-Qing, Lian-Wan, and Lian-You, You have to represent 5 deities, that's good enough. Each one of you represent 5 deities. So you need to find people. So when the primary supplicants are so few, how can I be enthusiastic about performing the ceremonies? But it was just a joke. We just let it be, because the economy is not so good, the time is not so good, but America is good, right? The economy has been getting better, but not for Taiwan. But why is Taiwan's economy related to Seattle? Right? So in the future, we have to follow her method to do it. Otherwise, we would be at a huge loss. So you have to stand at the Rainbow Temple's gates. And when you see someone, you should ask, do you want to become a primary supplicant today? Okay? But no, that was just a joke. Okay. Just joking around so that to break the ice. But XX really did that. So today we will talk about Amitayus Buddha, the Tathagata of longevity. And his mudra is similar to Amitabha's Buddha's, not with 2 circles, but the tip of 2 thumbs touching each other. And this mudra is the mudra of holding the nectar vase or ambrosia vase, because the longevity vase is his emblem, and he's an emanation of Amitabha Buddha, because Amitabha Buddha is the Buddha of infinite life and infinite light. So infinite life meaning long life. Light. Light, like the name of Xiao Guang, Master Lian or Ivan. You are Xiao Guang, little light. But Amitabha Buddha is a great light, big light, very big light. So he's an emanation of Amitabha Buddha. And the differentiating appearance is that he's holding a longevity vase filled with a longevity ambrosia. And then you visualize Amitayus, the vase opens and the white nectar enters through the tip of your head and fill your whole body. You visualize this way and you would attain a long life. And the 3 longevity deities are Amitayus, Tathagata, Ushina Vijaya, and White Tara. They are referred as the longevity trinity. Very important. So the appearance is he has 1 head, 2 arms, and red body, a top knot in his hair, and wearing a 5 Buddha crown, clothed in a long silk skirt with the celestial garment as the upper layer, adorned with precious jewels, and display the magnificence of a Sambhogakaya body. His hands form the meditation mudra, holding the longevity treasure vase. He sits on top of a lotus moon disk with legs crossed in the Vajra position. It's like here, like so with mantra, mudra, the mantra. And the 6 syllables also she, the same as Amitayus. Radiating a red, bright light. So with the mantra, his look and mudra, then you can perform the longevity practice of Amitayus. And yesterday I have said, most importantly, in order to live a long life, first you have to take in the air or the qi. So you want to take in the qi of the whole universe into yourself. And you merge yourself into the whole universe. And this kind of qi is truly expansive and infinite and boundless. I have a thought that is different from most people. What is the universe? We know that the universe has no bounds. It is infinite. There are many suns in the universe, not just one sun, because the other suns are too far. So in our Milky Ways, we saw a sun, and then there are many planets. So Earth, Venus, is that with the element of earth, water, fire, wind, there's no wind planet, right? We were talking about 9 planets, right? And the one sun. So what I'm thinking is different from yours. That the universe is infinite, but inside one solar system, it is like the womb of a woman. So the womb of a woman can give birth to 1 or 2 babies, for twins, or triplets, or quadruplets, or quintuplets. How about 9? 9 babies at once? Then there would be the 9 planets. So inside one womb, there would be many planets in it, many stars and planets in it. That would be a solar system. So that's in my opinion. Inside a woman's womb, it's like a solar system. And they form these planets and then give birth to them, to like expel them, and then form another one. And then once it's being expelled, then it would be into a different world. Because their lifespan is rather long. So the solar system is like a womb. And one day, all these great planets will be pushed out into where? Into the great universe. Then you would see how big or how boundless the universe is. So this is my own opinion, because the whole universe is similar to a human being. The solar system is similar to the human body. And it's written in the Bible that God created human beings based on His own look and shape. So He would look like a human being, right? And God rules the whole universe. He created the whole universe. And there's a fly here. Oh, the fly is coming here to take refuge. Or by do deliverance. Take refuge, and now it flew away. So my train of thought is different from other people's. In this solar system, I want to gain the radiation power of other suns. So this sun gives us light and warmth. Human beings and animals and plants, living beings can live on due to the photosynthesis. However, I think that I am able to gain the radioactive power of other suns. So try your best to find the greater radioactive power. Then you would be able to increase your power. So the front and the back and the left and the right and above and below the universe. If all this power is on your body, then you would have that transcendent, supranatural power. So think about it, mull over it, ponder on it. This is too deep and profound. But let me tell you that mainland China is doing research on this at one place, 2 places. They are researching on this. This is super, it's beyond science. It's a kind of science beyond science. At the Lian-Sheng. Do you know where it is? At the place called Xing-yen. at the Heilongjiang, north of Heilongjiang, and you didn't even know it's north of your homeland. Do you know where Inner Mongolia is? How far is Inner Mongolia from your Heilongjiang province? Far. So, and where is Mongolia? Didn't you learn maps? Did you go to school? Because it's cultural revolution, so you didn't go to school. So you were the red troops, part of the red troops. And we talk about the 9 provinces of the northeast: Shenyang, Changchun, Harbin, the 3 major province capitals, and then Outer Mongolia. Inner Mongolia is part of China, and Outer Mongolia is now independent, its own country. And Taxing Anning is between Inner Mongolia and Heilongjiang. And you're from China, and I'm from Taiwan, and I know more than you. Haven't you learned about Manchuria? That's part of your clan. That's when Japan invaded China, the northern eastern part of China. The Japanese established the country of Manchuria. Okay, now I wouldn't test you anymore on the geography. But they are doing research on this, and I've been thinking about this as well. So the radioactive power is not that is being researched is not inside the known solar system, but outside or the surrounding area. So in order to live a long life, we have to take in the qi. If the qi inside your body can be luminous or emit light, if the qi inside your body is flowing smoothly inside your body, then you will have no pain. Well, will you have pains? Because it's inflamed. And why is it inflamed? Because it's blocked. So if qi can reach all parts of your body, and all channels are open and flowing, then you would be healthy. So this is one very important key point. Take in the qi. Second, you need to swallow the saliva, take in the water. So you need to have enough water inside the body, so you can take in all the water from the universe into your body. And here we have the celestial pond or lake. And what's melting from it, it's called the saliva. And then if you can swallow your saliva and moisten all parts of your body, so that your hormones stay maintained, then you can live a long life. So take in the qi and take in the saliva and then non-leaking, like Grandmaster is a non-leaking Mahasiddha, that you will not leak any of your hormones from your body. Then you can be rejuvenated, you can retain your youthfulness, then you would live a long life. So if you want to be healthy, then you need to practice the longevity Dharma practice. Not just taking in the qi, swallowing the saliva and be non-leaking. You want to practice, cultivate spiritually and never cheat people. Never fight or compete. Because if you have rivalry, then you would have competition, and then one of you will lose and would create problems, and then you would have enemies, and you want to maintain your calmness and serenity. You cannot kill. You want to be compassionate and merciful. Those are conditions to be a long life. You have a good heart, then you would sleep well. If you're very kind, then your body and mind would be nice and cool. Then you would live a long life. If your mind and heart is very very unsettled, very chaotic, and you have too much things on your mind, and you think of a lot of things, you cannot empty yourself, then you can't fall asleep. If you argue and compete and always creating fights, then your heart and mind will not be cool and calm. So most importantly, you want to maintain your good and kind hearts. You help others, you're happy, you will not be depressed, and you will not be hyperactive. Then when you have a clear and cool mind, then you would have a long life. So that's mentally. So Gulama told us that in order to live a long life, you have to be pure and cool. You don't have so much desires, you're content, you don't have to have something, then that would be longevity. So this is a very important point. So, like taking in the qi, swallowing the saliva, and non-leaking are part of the spiritual cultivation. And you need to maintain a good heart and be always kind and helpful to others, and you don't cheat others, you don't deceive others, and every night you have peace of mind and you're not depressed, and you're also not active. So for longevity is you're seeking your own intrinsic Buddha nature. And in Taoism, we talk about being natural. a lot of things is that the human beings follow the earth, and the earth follows the heavens, and the heavens follows the way. So in the summertime, you wear less because it's hot, and in the wintertime, it's cold, then you wear more, and then in the spring, you still don't want to catch cold, so you have to be able to adapt to nature. Then you would be healthy and live a long life. That's all I can say about Amitayus Buddha. Let me teach you. If you're kind-hearted, then you would live a long life. But if you're not kind, and if you always want to harm others, to deceive others, to hurt others, then you would have mental illness already. So like X, that she has, this is also, she has a kind of illness too. It is hallucination and liar. So it's a kind of sickness. So she is actually sick too. So her body will not be healthy. So it's like a delusional disorder and a liar. Whatever she said are all lies. And the earth goddess, the earth mother goddess, is just an earth god, but a big one. So it's like Prithvi Deva, you know, but they are just gods of the earth because they are also the gods from the heaven. And yet the earth mother goddess, she said that X is in charge and whatever she says counts. But above the god of heaven, there's still the King Indra and more above. So even the earth mother goddess words do not necessarily count. How could she said that whatever she said counts based on what the other goddess told her? So I can consult it, Golden Mother. Can the Earth Mother Goddess words always count? And Golden Mother said, no. Well, in that case, how could she write something like on a note and then place it on XX forehead, saying that whatever XX says counts, right? So today, let me continue to talk about Lamdre. It's already 4:15. So here, talking about harmony. So the so-called harmony is the basis of all paths. It is the source of all merits. The visualization practice is like this. In the real practice, first, form the complete 9 postures of contemplations. The limbs are in lotus position to hold up the body. At the navel chakra, the character is like a thread, and perform the inhalation of qi and let it merge. At the And the stages of the practice are: first, slightly lift up the lower qi, then fill the upper qi until it's full, swallow a mouthful of saliva, tuck in the chin, lift up the lower qi again, this time strongly. And the intake of the upper qi in between the two liftings of the lower qi is to moderate the lower qi on how to make use of food and drink and how to empty your bowels and bladder automatically. When you can hold the upper and lower qi unfailingly, and it has to be without any chaotic disorder. However, if you press down on the upper qi, and if you press down on the upper qi, the lower qi is not lifted, or when lifting up the lower qi, the upper qi is not pressed down, then this is signs of error. If the lower qi is lifted and the upper qi is blocked naturally, or if the upper qi is pressed down and the lower qi lifts by itself, even when the exhaled qi did not disperse, this is the best kind of all precious merits. 我的包，黑色的包，黑色的。若配合各个和合之量，开二七，一盘子为数，极品能相继不断，上品64，中品32，下品不定数，每日每做，逐做依真，必能成为极品。哇，这个这么长。Wow, this one is so long. 好了，念了。Oh, jeez. So if you can sit in the lotus position, and in the practice, first you practice to sit upright, and after you're familiar and with sitting upright, then you practice it during the upright sitting, and then you can do it while walking and moving. And you can practice it at any time. And then the measurement is that it can be harmonious for a long time. And the merit generated is you will have the attainments of out of the worldly practices. Oh my God. Sorry, I missed most of it. You talk so much. And I just read it. But I practiced it already, so I can explain it to you. So in your spiritual cultivation, first you practice it sitting, like for meditation or the breathing practice. Because in order for the qi has to be serene in order for you to enter into meditation. That's why the idiom of being calm and serene, when your qi is calm, then the qi would be serene. So this talks about the treasure vase energy yoga. So push down the upper qi, lift up the lower qi. you first lift and then press. For me, I would lift up the lower qi first and then press down the upper qi. And then you swallow the saliva and hold it as long as you can, and you have to. But there would be faults or errors in doing it. So when you lift up the lower qi, you have to immediately press down the upper qi. If you don't, then there's a mistake, there's an error. So it has to be just right. One lifting, one pressing. If it is like this, so the upper qi goes down, but you do not lift up the lower qi, that's also a mistake. That's also an error. So it talks about this. So you press down the upper qi and you lift up the lower qi. And when it's just right, then it would be called harmony. Which is the title. And this is taught by Virupa. And the qi should enter into the sixth syllable so that the qi can increase. It's not only to be done in sitting position, there's also the standing position. Do you realize that when you lift up your anus, when your two legs are being tense, so you push the two parts of your butts, then that's lifting up the anus. And you can do that while walking too, and you can perform the breathing practice. So when you walk, you can also lift up your anus and practice the qi. And the qi will not disperse either. So you can really hold the qi in there. And the longer you can hold the qi inside, then the better you can enter into meditation. So it talks about key points here. So as soon as you lift up the lower qi, you have to press down the upper qi. But if you don't do that, then after you lift up the lower qi, then it would go up. Or vice versa. If you just press down the upper qi and you don't lift up the lower qi, then the qi would disperse from the lower parts of the body. So these are all errors, and it would generate problems in your body. So it's talked about here. And it has to be orderly, no chaos. So if you press the upper qi and you don't lift the lower qi, or vice versa, then that's error, that's a fault, that's a problem. It's written really clearly here. And it's written here. So the best kind is when it is continuous, and then the next, the high one 64, the medium one 32, and the lower kind is indeterminate. So what does it mean? The high quality 64, the mediocre quality 32, and the low quality is indeterminate. What do they mean? No.
那你身上的脉啊
It's the channels of inside your body.
眉心轮有几个脉？
How many channels on the brow chakra?
他讲千叶莲花啊62个脉
Thousand petal lotus,
啊，
62 channels, 64
32
channels.
个脉。
And the
我们以前
mediocre
是讲莲花了，
level at the heart chakra, how many channels? And before we also refer to them as the lotus petals, so 32 at the heart. And then the lower quality is indeterminate.
62 下，
It's not by snapping your fingers 64 times.
这个
No,
不是这个。
that's not it.
我告诉你哦，这个保平计的修持哦，
So the practice of Treasure-based energy yoga
24小时
is you have to practice it until you can do it for 24 hours non-stop at every second in order to reach the supreme or topmost quality. How many times you practice Treasure-based energy yoga?
那你是修几次？
How many times?
好像上气
Once in the morning,
下
once
压
at
下
night.
气上气，这样几次？
So by lifting up the lower chi and pushing down the upper chi, how many times a day?
3个。
3 times.
的保平计，
3 times.
那你还离休憩很远的很。
Then you're still very
这
far
里面讲的
from a breathing practitioner. So it said here, you do it every single day and continuously in order to become superb at it.
21下，21个
And to perform Treasure-based energy yoga, you have to do it 21 times continuously.
而且很多做
21
至
times
少要有
each
早
time,
上起来一做，
and you have to do it several times a day. Once in the morning upon waking up,
还没有吃饭以前一做，
before breakfast, 1 before breakfast, 1 at noon, 1 at dusk, and 1 at night. So 5 times a day.
早上、晚上、中午、中间，
So morning, night, noon, and in between.
单保平计一
So just Treasure-based energy yoga, you have to do it 5 times a day, and each time you have to do it 21 Treasure-based energy
啊，平时呢
yoga,
站着也可以做，
21 cycles.
这个
That's the,
它里面这样
if you focus on it, the specialty.
这个合
And you do it while sitting or standing or walking.
合在一起，
So the harmony is when the lower chi and the upper chi are matching and in harmony. That's called harmonious union.
气有5种，
And that's the source of all merits. And not only that, we have 5 different kinds of chi in our body. One is the life chi or the heart chi, which is not moving. Once it moves, then you would lose your life.
不动的。
So the life chi is unmoved. It only moves when you are dying. So this life chi is also the soul.
火棒气是跟着中脉的，这个是火
And
棒
then the fire accompanying chi, which is inside the central channel. And the peripheral chi on the limbs and all around on the
再来
sides.
就一个上行气，一个下行
And then the upper chi and lower
气。
chi.
气是
And the lower chi
这个管理下部的，上行
govern
上部
the lower part of the body, and the upper chi, the upper part, and the peripheral chi,
你这个
the
手在
peripheral
动
parts,
你手在动，都是气在动，脚在
and the
动
movement of your arms, of your legs, the movement of the chi,
也是
and also the movement of the heart, or the blood circulation is due to the chi
包括
movement,
你起灵也是气在动，
including the spiritual movements is due to the movement of the qi. So how do you practice it? The real practice is really quite lengthy. If you can make all the qi merge together for many days, then you can truly enter into the remaining samadhi and the remainless samadhi. If all the different qi can merge together harmoniously, then you can enter into meditation. And if you can practice according to this method, then it can eradicate all kinds of faults due to the chaotic disorders and disharmony of the body. So all the attainments of both the worldly and out-of-worldly practices are here. Is this. So in this harmonious yoga, if you don't know how to lift up your lower qi, and you only have the upper qi going down, then you would have pain on your spine. In order to alleviate it, there is a method. It's by meditating and use your fist, make fist, and then place it on at the bottom of your butts or buttocks. So you sit on the cushion and form the lotus position, and then you use both arms to lift up your body, and then let go of your hands, and then you would drop to the ground, or you would drop to the cushion, and you repeat it over and over. If you do this, then it would remove all obstructions, and then the disharmony of your qi. So you need to do it this way. So do you know how to do it? Do you understand? I have done it before. At the Seattle Temple's carpet, I have shown it to you. Something like this. So you lift up your body, and then you drop, and then you let go, and drop your body. So you lift your body and let go. So if you make mistakes, and then the qi cannot be in harmonious union, and you have all kinds of ailments, then you have to alleviate it using this method. You lift up your body with both of your hands and then let go, and then your buttocks will hurt. So you form fists first, and then you lift up your body and then let go. You have to perform this. So this is to alleviate that when you push down your upper qi, you don't lift up your lower qi immediately. Or when you lift up your lower qi, you don't push down the upper qi immediately. Then you would cause problems in your body. So Guru Padmasambhava said that all merits, the source of all merits come from treasuries energy yoga. And Virupa also said that all merits come from the harmonious qi, which is the same as the treasuries energy yoga energy. So it takes many repetitions. 62 is the lotus here, the lotus with the 62 lotus petals, or 64 actually. And here it's 32 lotus petals, which actually are the channels. Now let me share jokes. Let's not get too serious. The kid is the monk Sheng-yen, which is always protected and can discern between good and bad. So a family is like a journey to the west. Mom is like the monkey king, always laborers and never appreciated, and always take the hardest job and responsibility. And the elderly is like the monk Sa-u-jing, that just do without asking anything for return. And dad is like the pig, no use, only eats, and then can be seduced by the fox spirit if you're not careful. The wife asked the husband, "Look, you drank like this, you must have fallen on the way." And the husband replied, "No, I didn't slip and fall." And the wife asked, "How come there all dirt all over your body?" And the husband replied, "Oh, I crawled back home." So as Buddhist practitioners, the last of the 5 precepts is not to be intoxicated, not to drink alcohol. In the past, Grandmasters also drank lots of alcohol. When Grandmaster was very young, drank lots of wine. And then, why did I stop completely? Because every time I drank, then I would have red eyes. So like the red-eye monkey, every time I drank some alcohol, so I stopped. Did I stop drinking after I became a monk? I still drank a little. And then after drinking, there would be the blood vessels will break in my eyes. So I stopped, because maybe the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas were telling me that I have to be a good example to my disciples and sentient beings. So I stopped drinking, because I hope that you don't drink, because there will be lots of problems sometimes when you drink, like in accidents. Human beings encounter lots of accidents, like drivings, it doesn't matter, even after the longevity practice, you could die from the accident or from the crash. So please don't drink, please abide by the precepts, and then in the life to abide by the laws, and in the Buddhist practice abide by the precepts. I was dining with a friend. And the friend wanted a natto, tofu. And he took a bite and said, "Oh, this is really smelly." You know, and then the servant changed it. And then he complained again, "Oh, that the dish is also very like rotten." So the chef was brought in. And the chef finally said, "Hey, can you please put on your socks?" So before you blame other people, please check on yourself first. Sometimes that's the case. So the foul smell came from where? Not from the dishes, but actually it's from your own feet. So for a spiritual cultivator, we want to be retrospective of ourselves. 3 times. You have to check on yourself if you have breached the precepts. If you make a mistake, you have to correct yourself. Then you will be called you're cultivating spiritually. If you don't change your behaviors or you don't correct your mistakes, then what are you cultivating? And if you don't change, you breach the 5 precepts, you kill, you steal, you are infidel, you lie, and you steal, you lie, and then you get intoxicated. Then what's the point of cultivating spiritually? At least, in the least, you have to abide by the 5 precepts. If you don't, then you are destined to fall into the 3 lower realms, to hell, hungry ghosts, or the animal realms. If you're greedy, you would fall into hell. If you have lots of hatred and anger, you would become animals, or the ignorant or deluded one to become animals. And with lots of anger and hatred and animosities, then you would become the hungry ghost. So that's cause and effect, right? So in our spiritual cultivation, we have to change all these 5 actions or deeds. I have told this joke yesterday. I found out that in the recent World Cup, America and China did not join. So I thought of the idiom of the old China. It's actually a different interpretation of the idiom. Is that the Chinese and the Americans don't play soccer. It's interesting. All other countries except these 2 big countries, United States and China, don't join, but the rest of the countries play soccer because you don't earn much money playing soccer. But yeah, I guess they do. Yes. 4:45. What else to say? Think about it. Lian, what would you like to say? You have a joke for me to tell? What is it about Luotian Dajiao? The Taoist universal deliverance ceremony. Would you like to tell everybody about what they should do for the Luotian Dajiao ceremony? Nothing, just attend. You know, everybody thought that Grandmaster would be nervous about performing this Luotian Dajiao because it's a very special and unique kind of ceremony, but I'm okay. I don't care. Every day I do my homework, I cultivate spiritually, and when I go there, it's all the same. I cultivate spiritually and I do my homework. There's nothing to pay special attention to, and I don't want to. It's very easy for me. It's easy to set me up, to fall into the hole. It's possible, but it's okay. I don't care. For me personally, I don't care about my life. I can forsake my life for Dharma. I don't mind losing my life for the sake of Dharma. That place is truly dangerous. And that's the head center of the ghost. And it's the huge, horrible place to go to. Do you dare to go? I don't mind. I don't care. As long as I'm righteous and I'm upright, there's nothing to fear. Just now, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shuaji asked me to wear a bulletproof vest, but there's no need. For me, no need. It's okay for me to lose my life and body for the sake of Dharma. I don't care, because I always have Amitabha Buddha sitting on top of my crown. That's good enough. I'm satisfied. Doesn't matter what I will encounter, Amitabha Buddha will bring me to the Pure Land. That's very simple. Then I would go to the Pure Land. That's even better. There are lots of suffering in the human world. Sometimes I have to go to the toilet and everybody's still lining up, and I have to hold my pee, that I have to go to the bathroom after this long. But see, that's suffering in the human world. I have to observe all disciples who have matured, whether I can teach them the special Dharma transmission. And I always feel that I have to teach all that I know to everyone so that everyone would have attainments. Don't take it for granted. Don't just like let it pass, you know. But after I give the teaching, then I would be at peace. It doesn't matter to me whether you do it or not, whether you get it or not. So I have taught you to watch your own conduct and behavior to cultivate spiritually. But if you don't, see, if your hand is stealing, I cannot tie it down, right? Or if your feet are going to the nightclub to watch the topless, then, you know, I cannot tie you in a rope, right? Or bind you down. You know, in America, at the exit 27, there are also the shows by men, by, I think, nude, or almost nude men. And all the women went to watch. And they were in hysteria and saw their muscles and their butts and all that. So I cannot also tie you down not to go, right? But it's best to practice to be an arhat, not to see with your eyes, not to hear with your ears, not to smell the fragrance, and the tongue not to taste anything. And don't touch with your body. Because you need to know it is quite difficult to practice arhatship. As an arhat, you can only talk a few sentences to a woman, and when a man speaks to a woman, the two pairs of eyes should not gaze at each other, because once you generate spark, then you would be dead. Then you would have to maintain a certain distance. You cannot be too close. And you can only speak a few short sentences, 2 or 3 sentences. You cannot touch, definitely. If you do, like when I was in elementary school, Gao Chun-xin, that was sitting behind me, my girlfriend. We went to the Taiwan power company that gave a showing of the outdoor movie. And we were going there, and the car was very narrow. So I sat on the bench inside the car, and Gao Chun-xin sat right in front of me. I really liked her. I don't know if she liked me or not. And then our 2 knees are touching each other. Oh my God. I was so numb that I didn't even know what the movie was about. See how bad I was, even when in elementary school. So now at 74, maybe I'm worse. So when I was little, just my knees touching her knees, and I couldn't even walk anymore. And I don't even know what I was watching. I was just thinking of my knees. And when I got home, I didn't even take a bath. I didn't even wash my knees, because those were the knees that touched hers. Said I was still remembering until now. See how bad it was. So please correct your own conducts and behaviors. We are very grateful to His Holiness Precious Dharma teaching. And please help taking care of the chairs. And in a moment, there would be the empowerments for Amitayus Buddha. And during the empowerment, please remember to form the mudra, visualize the deity, Amitayus, and recite the mantra. This ends the English interpretation today. Thank you very much. Please remember to return your receivers. Thank you.
恭请圣尊为与会大众做长寿佛法灌顶，含有皈依灌顶。还没有接受灌顶的同门，请你们赶快过来接受灌顶。灌顶即将要结束了，还没有接受灌顶的同门，请你们赶快过来接受灌顶。
好。
让我们以热烈的掌声感谢师尊慈悲赐寿灌顶，恭请圣尊护摩过火。做观想大礼拜，礼拜根本传承上师及十方三世一切诸佛。嗡啊吽，观想顶礼，回天心三印，二拜诸菩萨。嗡啊吽，观想顶礼，回天心三印，三拜诸护法金刚。嗡啊吽，观想顶礼，回天心三印，四平等于其手。护摩法会圆满即将结束了，非常感谢师尊的大加持，感谢诸位上师、教授师、法师、讲师、助教及大家的护持，以及网络直播现场观看的观众，谢谢大家功德无量。网络直播到此。